back. This is Glass or Bottle, and I'm your host, M. I'm so glad that you guys decided to come back with me and you're watching my show because it has been sporadic. It's been some hard times going on here, but I'm still hanging in there, still doing my thing. Today, I am going to tell you that it is a glass night, small drinking. Tonight we're going to be doing Seagram's. This is one of my budget drinks, so we're going to do one of Seagram's, and this is excuse me, those are real life moments, okay? Those are real life moments. This is the Colada, okay? Calypso Colada. Yes, Calypso Colada. If you don't see it, it comes in the Seagram's Escape package. So this is going to be my drink of choice this evening. Why? Not really. I didn't want anything drink heavy. It was a pretty good week, I must say. So I didn't really feel like doing anything heavy. I didn't really need to relax that much. I wanted to be, quite there when I'm talking to you guys, because sometimes I know I can go off on a tangent. So I just wanted to be here and present when I'm talking about what I have to talk about this week. And this week we're going to talk about Black history. Of course, that is on the topic of everybody's mind. Black history, all the history. What can I say about Black history? What can't we say about Black history? Well, I did some digging, and of course, I never really was taught in school about Black history the way I'm learning about it now as an adult. We had things, only time we really talked about Black history was in the month of February. And we learned about Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, Thurgood Marshall, Frederick Douglass. And we read about these people. And throughout the years of my schooling, it was someone different, So a couple of years we were Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks. Then we got into the Frederick Douglasses, and then we got into the Harriet Tubman, and we got into them a little bit later on into my high school years. But I never really quite knew when was the first documented African American report of slaves coming to America. So I went online and I did some research. Yes, I did. And when I do research, y'all, I tell you, you find all kinds. If you go looking for it, you will find it. So what I came across, and this came from Lucy Cochran, Executive Director of the Hampton History Museum. Okay, so they have a display at this Hampton History Museum of the first African Americans coming to Virginia. And they said they landed in, I'm sorry, I keep wanting to say 19. So as I'm talking about it, if I keep saying 19, I do apologize. But they came and landed here in America in 1619. 1619. And Virginia was the first African Americans reported to land in the United States, in America. In late August of 1690, about 20 to 30 enslaved African landed in Point Comfort, which is today called Fort Monroe in Hampton, Virginia. Okay, aboard the English privateer ship White Lion in Virginia, these Africans were traded and exchanged for supplies. Several days later, a second ship came. A second ship? Well, see, they realized that they had some strong individuals and they could do whatever they want to them and more, and they trade them for supplies and work and all this other stuff. This is crazy. But anyway, this is what happened. And that ship was called the Treasurer, arrived in Virginia with additional enslaved Africans. Both groups have been captured by English privateers from the Spanish slave ship San Juan Bautista. Okay, they went and got a little Spanish slave ship and picked up these people and brung them here. Okay, minding their own business probably. Just picked them up, went over there, picked them up. Oh my God. Did they wake up that morning thinking they were going to be on somebody's slave ship? No. See, this is what I'm trying to tell people. Every day is different. And these people didn't wake up thinking in late August of 1619 that they were going to wake up in America. Probably didn't even know about America. Didn't know about these crazy people coming to pick them up on no ship, have them in conditions that just wasn't, slave ships, just sad. Anyway, well, they were the first recorded slaves to arrive in English mainland American colonies. Okay, and that came from Lucy Cochran, executive director of Hampton History Museum. Okay, so let's move on a little bit further. Okay, let's move on into Virginia. The city of Fredericksburg, Virginia, removed an auction block that had been there and was used 176 years ago to buy and sell slaves. So these slaves will stand on this auction block, and of course people will bid on them and buy them and sell them and like they were property. That's what the slavery is. Right. But guess what? This is what starts to if that didn't annoy you enough, but this is what starts to really egg at me. In 2017, the Fredericksburg chapter of the NAACP pushed for the city to remove the slave block, calling it an open wound and a constant reminder of times of hatred and discord in the city's history. Okay, now, 2017, this slave block has been there 2017, have been there for so long. Now, I don't know when that slave block was put up, but they said it was used over 176 years ago. That's what they're saying. I can't really tell you when it was used, when it was put up there, and how long they were using it. But according to these people at the museum, that it was 170 years ago. Okay. Like I said, they were calling for it to be removed. Okay. 2 years later, the city council, 2017, 2 years later. Okay, the city council approved a plan to move the block from the street corners of the Fredericksburg area museum. Why don't you just get rid of it? Why you got to hold on to it, Virginia? Fredericksburg, why you want this block? Why you want this block? It's poorly and tactfully there in the first place. It shouldn't have been there that long, okay? It never should have been there that long. It shouldn't have even been a fight to get it removed. But they got it 2 years later. They got it removed, to say they got it removed, and putting it into a museum, which a judge upheld after 2 business owners in the area filed suit to stop the action. So 2 business owners, some 2 lousy business owners tried to fight to not have it removed and put in a museum. I would have crushed it, but fight to put it in a museum. A judge upheld the decision and said basically, screw you. Y'all will be fine. It's going to the museum. Okay? 2 business owners, wanted to keep it there. For what reason? Anyway, One of them appealed the case all the way up to the Virginia Supreme Court. They was fighting to keep this block in the middle of the street. In the middle of the street. Why? You know, this is what I mean about folks just do shit to just be doing. And it didn't really need to. It was, like you said, it was a sore spot in the history of the city. The museum planned to feature the stone and a new exhibit heralding Black people rise from slavery. Hallelujah! We rose from slavery, and this slave block is going to represent the rise of slavery, from slavery. The slave block is going to represent that. Yeah, I don't know how that was supposed to work out, but yeah, and that's what they were going to do. Now, mind you, slavery did end in 1863. 1863, it ended. It started in 1619. Long. 1863 is when it ended, and 1863. Let's see here. We're going to do some math real quick because you know what? I'm just 1863, and it started in 1619. All right. Started in 1619. 244 years passed between 1863. I'm sorry, between 1619, when the first slaves came, to supposedly the end of slavery in the United States in 1863. If I did the math right. They said 1863 was the end of it, and 1619 was the beginning of it, at least on record that they have. So let's do a quick little overview of Black history from what you can find out there. The overview of 13th Amendment, 1865, ended slavery. That was the 13th Amendment. Now, we only had 3 that really was trying to work in our favor, 3. But the 13th Amendment, 1863, ended slavery, and slavery meant newfound freedom for African Americans. Sure it did. Newfound freedom. Just a new way to say you're free. Yeah, I don't know how that was supposed to work out. During the period of a Reconstruction, some 2,000 African Americans held government jobs. Sure did. Held some government jobs. Now, I don't know what those government jobs were, but I'm quite sure they were good, right? Sure. And it was 2,000 of them. You know how many slaves they brought here? Oh my gosh. I couldn't even imagine it. But it was 2,000 of them. Yes, they got government jobs. Great. Black families, the Black church, and education were central elements in the lives of post-emancipation African Americans. It was a central element. Yes, it was a central element. Shoot, y'all didn't want us to read. Y'all didn't want us to have the same. Y'all wanted us to have the same God. Where Christianity has come in, we needed to have the same God and everything. Of course, it was a key element. Yes, it was a way to keep us still under control. I don't know how that was supposed to work out either. Many African Americans lived in desperate rural areas, poverty areas across the South, and in decades to follow the Civil War. We still living in them. Still some poverty areas, still some stuff, hey. I really don't know how this was supposed to work out, but it was sounding good on paper, right? It sounded good on paper. during the period of the Reconstruction, which lasts from 1865. Now, mind you, from 1619, okay, to 1865, that's a nice little chunk too. Nice little chunk. We just been, oh, that's a nice little chunk. During the periods of the Reconstruction, which lasts from 1865 to 1877, okay, Congress passed and enforced laws that promote civil and political rights for African Americans across the South. So they were trying, it seemed like on paper, it seemed like it was the right thing to do, right? It seemed like it. And was it really happening? I don't think so. That's not how some stories read. But anyway, let's go on. And it says, most notable among the law Congress passed were the amendments to the U.S. Constitution. Wow. 3, I told you. Remember I told you they gave us 3. The 13th Amendment to end slavery. The 14th Amendment, 1868, guaranteed African Americans the right of American citizenship. Shut your mouth and close the front door. We done been here all this time illegal, but working. And yet, they decided to give us citizenship. Oh, damn. I'm so happy they did. Man, I'm so happy they did. But that still didn't matter to them because they didn't care. Those people back then didn't care. Now, the third one was the 15th Amendment, 13, 14, and 15. The 15th Amendment, 1870, guaranteed black men the constitutional right to vote. Guaranteed the black man constitutional right to vote. Now, the black woman, I guess, yeah, we've been still on the back lines for so long. We don't even know what the front line look like. We just been backing folks up, and now that's a whole. I'm about to get on a rant, y'all. I was about to go there for my sisters. I was about to go there. I'm sorry. All right. So, 3 amendments. Okay. Now during that amendment time, they had some folks. Okay. They had some folks that started a private little club. Yes, they did. They called it a little private club. And it was called the KKK, Ku Klux Klan. Now, Ku Klux Klan. I need to do some research on what this Ku Klux Klan really means. What this really means. What that name means. Where did it come from? Where did they come from? How did they get it? I need to do some research on that. But from the late 1860s, white supremacists in the KKK terrorized African Americans. Can't leave folks alone. That's the problem. Can't leave folks alone. Terrorizing folks, burning down the house, dragging people and putting ropes around their neck. Lord have mercy. I don't know what. Who does that? You have to disconnect, in my opinion. You have to disconnect from your human side to go and torture and terrorize someone else. First of all, to terrorize and torture someone else. Then you have to be past insane to go and torture and terrorize someone else because of a color of their skin. Come on now. So, they terrorized African American leaders and citizens in the South until 1871. What happened in 1871? Well, they say the U.S. Congress passed legislation that resulted in the arrest and imprisonment of the Klan leaders and the end of Klan terrorism on America for a time. Yeah, man, just a little bit. Because let me tell you what happened right after that happened. They pulled the military out. They pulled the police out. The people that were supposed to be there to help keep the peace from these terrorists, Ku Klux Klan people, they pulled the military out. Yep, they did. Over the course of the late 1860s and throughout the 1870s, the federal government military presence was withdrawn from various southern states. And with the Compromise of 1877, President Hayes ordered the last federal troops in the South to withdraw. Now, who's going to be there to help these black folks from these Ku Klux Klan people? Who's going to be there? See, this is the bull stuff that you hear, but you don't want to hear. They set up. It was a setup. It was a setup from the beginning. Tell these people something. Give them a little hope that things could get better, and then say, no. We really ain't trying to hear that. So guess what happened? The Klan came back in and they started doing their stuff. That was approximately like 17 years in that process from 1860 through the 1870s, all the way down to 1877. That was 17 years. I just stopped. And they stopped. They pulled them out. Why would you pull them out? Why? Tell me why. I wish I could ask President Hayes this right now. Why? Just why? And I would love to see his answer. I'll wait. That's what I'll tell him. I'll wait. Me and my little wine cooler sit here, right here, just a rocking. I'll wait. Why would you do that? You know that those folks down there are Ku Klux Klan, and they're doing some bad things to these people who just trying to live their life. They didn't ask for their ancestors to be brung over here, and now y'all want to give them citizenship, but y'all want to tear up everything they do, knock down, and still treat them like they're not human. I don't get it. With no more troops to enforce the 14th and the 15th Amendments, Reconstruction, so-called Reconstruction, came to an end. Across the South, lynchings and lynching people and burning of the crosses just got out of control. They were just out of control. And it would be like that until the Second World War in 1960. 1960s. From 1619 to the 1960s. I was born in 77. I was born in 72. Sorry about that. I was born in 72. In 1960. In the 1960s, when the Civil War and the Jim Crow segregation was outlawed. That's what it said. It was not until after the Second World War and the 1960s Civil War movement that Jim Crow segregation would be outlawed. 340 years from the time of the first slaves arriving. 340 years. And we still got issues today. Now they're just trying to make it sound like we were just happy to be in that situation. Sam Crow situation, Ku Klux Klan situation. We were just happy to be in those situations. We was happy, right? No, nobody was no goddamn happy. These people crazy. Now, after the Ku Klux Klan and the end of the Reconstruction, Jim Crow was going on. And hold on, y'all don't hear Alexa. She probably spying on me. Let's see. Okay, I don't see her no more, but y'all might have heard her probably spying on me because I'm giving this little lesson. Anywho, let's move on to what Jim Crow was about. Jim Crow was a name of a radical system that operated primarily, but not exclusively, in the southern and border states, okay? Between 1877 and the mid 1960s. 1877. 1877 all the way to 1960. What is enough? And yet, let's do some more math. Let's do some more math. 1877, 1960. 1960. Y'all do math faster than me, because I tell you, it ain't like that for me. That's 83 years of Jim Crow. Just on those days alone. 83 years. 83 years of folks acting a damn fool. And yet, they want us to forget slavery. I tell you, each one teach one. Remember what your ancestors went through. Remember, so it'll never happen again. So your children will never have to deal with this kind of stuff. And remember, it is not so long ago. It is not so long. The 60s, yes, are a while ago, but it is not so long ago. We are in the year 2021. 2021, I'm sorry, we just turned into 2022. That's even worse. And we're going to go 1960. 62 years. From 1960, 62 years. We were enslaved for over 300. 62 years, and for 62 years, in that 62 years, they want us to forget everything. And I'm not saying that we should go out and just start riots and protests and say that, but I want this program to tell you to teach your children. Teach your children. Let them know that there is a such thing as PTSD to slavery, post-slavery, generational PTSD. I'm learning about this from Dr. Joyce DeGruy. Her last name is spelled Degruy. I did post some things about her. I post one of her speeches on Facebook if you want to go and check it out. And that's Facebook / Glass or Bottle Fridays. You can find it on there. It's very interesting. And I tell you, you should teach your children. Please teach your children. Teach your black children. Teach your Hispanic children. Teach one. Because we don't need this to happen again. And slowly but surely, things have a way of coming around again. And might not be quite the way that it was. But you'll start seeing some similarities. Okay? This is Black History Month. Be proud. Be black and proud all year round. But for this 28 days, each one, teach one. I have a mixed child, so she has two sides that she has to learn about. But she's got to know from her black mom what her ancestors went through. She's going to know what it is to be a black female in a country that act like slavery didn't happen. I thank you for being on this, watching the show with me. Please like and subscribe as you like the content. I'm very sporadic with my videos, but I do thank each and every one of you that do take the time and look at it. Tonight's drink was Calypso Colada from Seagram's Escape, and I hope you enjoy it. This is on my budget-friendly drink list, so if you're in that budget-friendly mode of time, please feel free to get you one of these. It's all right. Cheers to another great week. Cheers to you for making it through the week. And happy Black History Month. Till next time on Glass and Bottle. See ya. Have a great week.